free, butter free, free.
Butter free attack! Welcome to Blood, Guts, and Booze.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kendrah. This is a paranormal and true crime podcast here to frighten you and make you question the world that we live in. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into this. Listener discretion is advised, as these podcasts are not for the faint of heart, nor are they PG. Hey everyone! So, since Olivia will be giving us part 2 of Bridgewater today, I thought it would be a bit fitting if I did an almost part 2 as well.
Oh.
I'm going to be covering back-to-back killer kids cases.
Okay.
I had already had a different case almost like halfway done, and I went, nah,
Oh, you pulled a me.
and changed it to this.
Yeah, you pulled a me.
Yeah.
Where you just type up a whole case and then you're like, you know what? I want to do something else.
It was just far too much to keep going. And I was like, this is an easier case for me to write, if I'm being honest. Because I already had almost all of my case notes written because of when I watched Killer Kids.
Okay.
So yes, most of my inspiration and information is from there. So not only will it be a killer kid, it is also a serial killer case.
Woohoo! Double whammy.
Yes, because we know how much I love my serial killers.
I'm just picking hair off of you, that's all.
Yeah, Olivia's grooming me.
No, I
Like a
I
cat.
can
Use
see
your
the
tongue.
I can I can see the hairs from the corner of my eye and they wiggle. And so I'm like, you know, I gotta pick them off.
Like when you have flyaways and I have to tuck them behind your ear.
Yeah, but I'm just being like really ADHD right now.
That's okay. There's one like kind of on your nipple that I want to get.
Oh, big cat hair. Low-key.
Anyways, this week I will be traveling to Rhode Island for the first time to talk about the case of Craig Price, aka the Warwick Slasher.
Okay.
So Craig Chandler Price was born October 11th, 1973. He had a juvenile record for breaking and entering, robbery, stalking, drug use, and assault, on most occasions on his own family. He eventually did join a gang of delinquents that burglarized homes with him.
Okay.
Despite this, though, Craig was known as a, quote, good boy in the neighborhood. He was likable, and he was also a big boy, 200 pounds.
Oh, like thick big or like muscular big?
Thick big.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
He was also really tall. Like, he was essentially
Oh,
the
like
size,
a tall and big guy, you know what I'm... Okay.
He's been described as having the body of an adult, but the face of a baby.
Oh, that's like my brother.
Yes.
My brother's like that.
He is kind of like that.
But he has facial hair, so it looks really funny when he just recently shaved all of his facial hair, and I was like, what the fuck? Because it's the first time I've seen him without, like, a scruffy beard in a couple years.
I don't even remember what your brother looks like.
Me, but a man.
That's hot.
Yeah,
I'm just
right?
kidding.
Right? He's 6 foot and like 200 pounds like this guy here. We have the same color, like dark brown hair, but his is like really curly, unlike mine. Mine's like pin straight. Where the fuck I got that from? Who fucking knows? My mom has curly hair.
Yeah, she does. I love your mom.
Me too. Yeah. He's got like this baby face, so he looks like me. He was born with strawberry blonde hair and it turned black. He's so cute. A little shithead.
Well, for this also wonderful good boy, everything changed in 1987, though. So on July 27th, 27-year-old Rebecca Spencer was home alone.
Weird, it was on the 27th and she was 27.
Right? Craig had decided that he wanted to murder her.
Oh.
Because why not?
You know what? I'm bored. Let's go murder somebody.
I feel like
Swing,
murdering
swing.
today.
Chop, chop, chop.
You know, I just got this urge to do something. I don't know what it is. Murder's what it is. I'm gonna go do that now. She stabbed me.
I shanked her in the side.
It's funny that you used that as your point reference to murder me. Let's
Shanking
continue. So he snuck out of his house and went to her house in the night. And when he noticed that there wasn't a car in the driveway, he became very upset, like distraught, because he had missed his opportunity.
Bitch, how dare you not be home right now?
So he laid down in the grass and smoked a joint. He went back home and smoked a bunch more weed. And then decided that he could still trash the home. So he went back.
Oh no.
He creeped around the house looking inside, and then he noticed that someone, wasn't sure who, was asleep on the living room floor.
Oh.
A cat brushed past him, scared him, and then they slipped into an open back door.
Oh, he's scared by pussy?
Craig slipped in behind the cat. He found Rebecca asleep on the floor in a purple nightgown.
Why is she sleeping on the floor?
The house was filled with boxes. She lived there with her 2 children and her brother, and they were in the process of moving out.
Oh.
I believe it was supposed to be within the next day or 2, so I think
If
that's
the couch was there, why wouldn't she just sleep on the couch?
There might not have been a couch. I don't know. I just know she
Oh,
was on
I
the
thought
floor.
you said, for your reason, I thought.
No, she was just on the living room floor, but there was a TV, and she was asleep. The TV was on, and she was asleep on the floor.
Oh, okay.
So probably she was just, like, chilling. Some people just lay on the floor to watch TV. They're weird.
I mean, I do sometimes.
See?
I was laying on the floor before you came over here.
See, you're weird. Maybe she just fell asleep. So because of this, them moving soon, Craig was able to take a 10-inch packing knife from her home. He then proceeded to stab her 58 times.
Well, that's a little excessive.
Her children were left unharmed, though.
Oh, were they upstairs?
I couldn't find if that was clear or not on whether they were there or not. I just know that she was a mother of 2 and she lived with her brother, and her brother wasn't home, but
Maybe her brother and the kids were at the new place and she was
Perhaps.
still at the old house finishing things up, maybe?
yes, perhaps. So the murder, like, shocked the neighborhood because it was a quiet neighborhood. And no one suspected her 13-year-old neighbor. He lived 2 houses down
Oh my
from
god,
her.
he's 13. Right, I forgot. We're talking about a child right now.
Yes. So the first thought is that it was a robbery gone wrong. Sadly, though, her case went cold. That is until 2 years later, when another horrific murder shocked the same neighborhood.
Okay.
So Craig was now 15. He was taking LSD 3 times a week at this point. High on LSD and marijuana, he decided to rob Joan Eaton's house.
Did you spell that wrong?
Probably
Doesn't look great.
marijuana.
Marijuana.
It's marijuana.
Marijuana.
Marijuana. Did I spell that wrong?
I don't know. Why do I feel like there's an I in there?
Marijuana.
There is an I in there.
So it's marijuana, not marijuana.
I was gonna say, I'm like, why does that look weird? I thought there was 2 dots.
I don't smoke it, so I don't need to know how it's spelled, okay?
I just put weed.
But marijuana sounds much more professional.
Smoke weed every day.
I listened to that song the other day. the remixy one. The dun 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 dun.
I don't know
I
if
don't
I
know.
heard it.
I'll find it after. Where was I? I'm gonna start that over. No, I'm not. Because that was funny. So on September 1st, 1989, Craig cut open the screen to Joan's home. He told himself before entering, do not hurt the children. He slipped off his shoes and snuck into the home. He headed towards Joan's bedroom. With his hand on the door handle of her bedroom, he paused. suddenly, a child's hand touched him in the darkness. He panicked and sliced open his finger with the knife he was holding. He went to grab her, but she bit him, and it sent him into a fit of rage. He stabbed and beat all 3 people in the home that night. He later claimed that he had killed the youngest daughter the fastest.
Because she bit him?
No, that was the middle girl. So he stabbed Joan 57 times, 10-year-old Jessica 62 times.
What the fuck?
And 8-year-old Heather 30 times, and he also crushed Heather's skull.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
The stabbing was so brutal that he actually broke the knives that he was using and left the blades inside the victims and took the handles with him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And remember,
He's 15.
15.
Holy shit.
So, the FBI got involved with making a profile of the killer and determined that the killer likely lived somewhere between the 2 houses, which Craig did. Police, doing a patrol, saw Craig walking down the street and questioned him. He had bandages on his hand from where he had cut himself. And he also had large shoes that matched the shoe size prints from both scenes. They brought him in and had him take a lie detector test. He failed it.
Oops.
Police then got a warrant and searched his home. They found the murder weapons. So, Greg confessed to the murders. He then confessed also to the murder from 2 years ago.
Oh.
He showed 0 remorse, and he even mimicked the sound of the girls dying.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Now, because he was a minor, he was not sent to trial or able to be imprisoned for the crimes in accordance with Rhode Island law. So Craig was sent to the Rhode Island Training School, which is a youth correctional facility.
Okay.
He was placed in the maximum security wing, and he would be held for 5 years and released on his 21st birthday.
Okay.
Yes. Isn't that fantastic? So,
yeah.
yeah, the idea of this monster being released into the public, though, outraged the public. The assistant attorney general, the police captain that supervised the second murder investigation, and Joan's mother and sister all got together and submitted a bill to be passed that would give the attorney general's office the power to commit a mentally ill person to a mental health institution if he or she posed a threat to society.
Okay.
President Clinton even supported keeping him in prison and changing the law.
Well, yeah, I mean, if even the president notices how severe this is, and they're willing to be like, nah, I'll fucking do that shit, like, right now.
Not just the president, Bill Clinton. Who's, you know, right up there with Bush in smarts.
Yeah.
No offense. The law was passed,
Good.
but Craig was unaffected by it
Oh, fuck.
because he'd already been sentenced or sent and given his punishment. He would still be released on his 21st birthday in October 1994.
Oh my God, we were 2 years old.
2 months before his release date, though, he threatened a guard and was charged with assault. And it kept him in prison, adult prison this time.
Well, because at this time he's probably over 18.
He's 20.
Yeah.
So Craig assaulted 2 separate prisoners in February 1996, biting one of them in the finger.
Sorry, I just thought it was a carrot. Well, that's the amount of pressure it takes to bite through a finger is the same pressure it takes to bite through a carrot.
Interesting. Now I know.
It doesn't take much.
Nom nom. He assaulted a prison guard in October 1998, February 1999, and October 2001.
Oh.
In 2004, he was transferred from Rhode Island to Florida because of his violent tendencies. That's where they send the real meanies. Bundy. He was denied parole in March 2009. and his release date was set for May 2020. On July 29th, 2009, he got into a fight with another prisoner, and during this, he also stabbed a prison guard in the finger with a shiv. That's why I said it's funny that you mentioned stabbing me with a shiv. On April 4th, 2017, he was accused of stabbing fellow inmate Joshua Davis with a 5-inch homemade knife.
What the fuck?
Uh-huh. On January 18th, 2019, he was sentenced to 25 more years for that crime.
Oh.
This would mean that if he was to be ever released, it would be in 2044, when Craig is 71 years old.
Okay. So, quickly, you said they send all the bad people to Florida, right? Mm-hmm. I thought they sent the bad people to Guantanamo Bay.
I didn't say that's where they send the bad people. I said that's where the baddies are.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, like they breed baddies.
Oh.
Bundy, Eileen Warnos. They breed some of the good ones.
I was like, I thought...
No, they home grow the bad ones. They're homegrown there. Hold on.
Gator balls.
So anyways, there is a couple points of trivia. Craig Price is one of the youngest serial killers in the U.S. He is actually the 16th youngest killer between 13 and 17 in the world.
Okay.
And he is the 59th youngest killer in the world.
Okay.
Which, for the amount of killers we have in the world, that's saying something.
I'm curious to know who number one is. Can you figure that out and cover it?
It's actually an unknown.
Okay, can you cover number two?
That is also unknown.
Well, what the fuck?
I do have some. I am going to cover eventually the youngest serial killer in the U.S.
Okay. I want the world.
The world is an Indian boy.
Okay. There
Yes.
you go.
Yes. I can't remember his name, but yes.
I want to hear about him.
Okay.
So do our listeners. I'm making the executive decision for everybody.
Okay. All right. Craig had been sexually assaulted by a babysitter at a young age. The family that he murdered, Craig covered their bodies in sheets, which obviously meant remorse, as we've talked about before, because probably he didn't want to kill the children. That was not his intention when he went in.
And he kept saying, too, like, don't kill the kids.
Yes.
I feel like it only happened because that kid woke up.
And a lot of killers, too, like, you think the worst serial killers that you can think of, a lot of them still have limits when it comes to children. You know, like, I'm not saying 100%, but put in, like, Bundy and Manson there. If you put a baby and a child in front of them, they're not going to go, yeah, we got to murder them because I like to murder. Bundy raised a child.
Okay. I'm going to ask a question then.
Okay.
So, because you said Manson, if there was a baby or a child in front of him, why did Sharon Tate still get killed? She was pregnant.
Okay, so that was a bad example.
But I fucking got you there.
But do you know what I mean, though? Is that, like, a lot of them still aren't okay with, like, even, like, you look at the prison population, majority of them, you throw a pedophile in there.
Oh, they're fucked.
They ain't having it. You throw a baby killer in there, they ain't having it.
A lot of people end up getting severely injured, if not fatally injured, in those situations.
I'm just saying our Canadian government could save a lot of money if they had just accidentally looked the other way with Paul Bernardo for 5 minutes. Back when it happened, they could have just been like, "Oh, sorry, I was sneezing, I didn't see it."
I know a lot of people in Canada are really outraged with the Kenning Barbie killer documentary that is on there right now. I did watch it with Nick. He actually, I was surprised, was really invested because I don't think he knew much about that whole case, even though it's really close to home for me. Because I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned it before, but I'm from St. Catharines where all of this happened. but a lot of people are really upset about that, and I watched the documentary. It's not as bad as people think it is. It was actually very informative. But you know, it's like a 4-part series, and you know, it definitely had a lot of information I didn't know about that case, and I was like, oh damn. And
it's deep.
It is. And then I ended up watching Carla the other day on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember you messaging me. Did you finish it?
I did. I watched the whole thing in one sitting.
It's a good movie.
It's
cheesy, but it's good. But I'm also a little biased because I love Misha Collins and Laura Prepon.
I mean, so do I, but I don't think Misha Collins was the right person for that.
No.
He's too innocent at heart, naturally.
Castiel.
And when he said the word, you fucking cunt, I laughed out loud. I didn't mean to, but it's just because he's so innocent that it's like, I couldn't, I'm like, hearing you say the word cunt, I can't. Like,
it's like, I don't know if you've seen the Dahmer movie that has,
what's his face? Hawkeye? Yes, I have. That was like one of the first Dahmer movie documentary things I ever saw.
He is not right for that role.
No.
There are certain people that can play certain things. Like, honestly, I know that it was a lot of a big thing when Zac Efron played Bundy.
I was just about to say Zac Efron with Bundy.
But
I think he did a pretty decent job.
He did a really good job, and I feel like too many people think of him as a pretty boy first, when he really is a very diverse actor.
He is.
He does very well for himself.
He does. His TV show is really funny, too. Zac Efron in the Wild or something like that.
Oh, okay. So, the family was not discovered for 2 days. And the last thing was Craig had actually accused the media of making him a, quote, black boogeyman.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Is he African-American?
He is an African-American male. I should have mentioned that earlier with this point. I'm sorry. But yes, he is African-American. But he claims that basically he's really not that bad, and it's just the media making him seem like a, quote, black boogeyman. I'm sorry.
But you killed
murdered
people.
A whole bunch of people.
At like 15 years old.
And 13 was your first murder. So, frig off.
Question. Do you know if he got literally picked up by his ankles as a baby and wailed in the head against a wall by his parents for him to be this fucked up?
No, his...
Because they always say head injuries lead to, like, you know, shit like this, right? Because they find that very common between murderers and serial killers and stuff.
No, the bit that I read was basically that he grew up in a very happy and healthy home, other than the fact that a babysitter had sexually assaulted him at some point. But I mean, that's just him saying that, so Lord knows if it's true, or if he's using that as an excuse, because some of them will make up things.
Yeah.
But he grew up in a very, you know, religious, loving family.
Oh,
that
well,
was
that
just
explains it. Religious.
not like not like devout Catholic crazy. You love Jesus or you eat dirt kind of family. They were like Baptists or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, some other, we believe in Jesus and God, but we're not Christian and Catholic. Something in there. In the umbrella. I want to say start with a B, so I think it's Baptist. But yeah, he grew up in a nice home, a middle class family. You know, he just was a shitty person.
Definitely goes back to like nature versus nurture and like how people end up like that. Because coming from, I mean, as far as we know, a family that was a good family, you know, didn't see anything wrong with his childhood. Like, it's really interesting to see why he ended up being the way he was. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I would love to see his brain scan.
It was actually a little bit hard to find a lot of information on him, more than I thought it would be, especially like his background. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess technically he was a minor when all this happened, so it would be really hard to find.
Yeah. The killer kids, it's hard to find their backgrounds.
I'm actually really surprised, even though he was 15, but 15 when he got caught, that they still didn't try him as an adult with what he had done.
They
because
couldn't
it's so
in
severe.
Rhode Island at the time. He couldn't be tried as an adult unless he was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the Rhode Island law at the time, because they never needed to change it.
Yeah.
And then he happened, and now Rhode Island has a whole different law
It's
system.
just because I know other, like, every state has different laws, just like every province has different laws here in Canada. It's just, you'd think, because I know there's already been killer kids probably before him as well.
Oh God, yes. Mary
and-
Bell.
But you just think, being like, after seeing those cases, a lot of times they end up just being automatically tried as an adult because the case is so severe. Like, the crime is so severe. And I mean, he murdered what, like 5 people?
4.
4. Like,
It's like when we covered James Bulger there, the 2 little boys that killed him, they changed the law because of them. Mm-hmm. And then there was 2 other little boys, later that had kind of done a similar thing. They'd killed somebody together, and because of the first 2, the law was changed. They went to prison, were tried as adults at like 11 years old. Mm-hmm. Because, I'm sorry, but
if you're gonna kill somebody, I don't think it matters what age you are. You should be tried fair and square, to be honest.
Yeah, unless you're like 6 and under, to me.
Yeah.
Then I'm like at the
or even like 8 and under.
Yeah, like
because you're still trying to figure things out. But like, by the time you're 8 to 10 years old, you know wrong from right at that point. You're old enough, But like
my child's under 8, and they understand that killing people is bad. Yes, we have that conversation. They know what I talk about, kind of. Basically, as far as they're concerned, it's just
that,
mommy talks about bad guys.
When kids are younger, they get very, especially around ages, 4 and 6, they get very obsessed with when they figure out what's going on in the world, and they're like, oh my God, what's going to happen if you die? What's going to happen if I die?
Oh.
Right? And, and then they become obsessed with death for like a short period of time, and it's like, this is really, really like morbid, but I mean, I get it. They're trying to figure things out, and they don't understand because they're so young.
Yeah, my grandmother's passing has definitely brought that conversation into our household.
Yeah.
Very much earlier than I wanted it to be, but yes, it was, a few weeks of that being basically the only conversation. But
well, it's because they don't know how to process it yet at that young of age, right? So, I get it, but so
we have our nightly prayers, and they pray to Nana every night, and it's very sweet. But yes, to go back. I think that there is a certain age where you can't just murder is murder. You're an adult. You have to go to prison, and I still think that even if you're tried as an adult, you should be in a youth facility.
Oh, 1,000%.
Until you're the right age, which certain laws do dictate that as well in certain places. But I think, under a certain age, you really, you can know it's wrong. At 5, you know murdering people is wrong, but do you really know?
Yeah.
Do you really? Like, you
you're
not,
know,
but you
you're
don't
still
know.
processing things on how things work, and
Yeah.
your emotions and feelings. You're at that age. That's when you're starting to figure out how to work with emotions. And
my 4-year-old say at 4 pushes me down the stairs. Okay. They don't know that. They just thought it was funny.
Yeah, they thought they were playing, and they were like, "Aha, mommy, haha," you know, like.
Oh no, they murdered mommy.
Yeah, like.
You know, don't send them to prison.
That eventually, I feel like, might fuck a kid up enough that they would turn like Michael Myers. But I mean,
that's cool. Then they learn to walk real slow, but also super fast at the same time.
And they're immortal.
Yeah.
Basically.
That would be awesome. Anyways.
Are you ready for part 2 of Bridgewater?
Speaking of super weird things, yes.
Okay, because things are about to get weird.
That's like my one weird, like, tick. Like, if I had Tourette's, I would just do that sound all the time, I think. Yeah.
Dude, Nick fucking hates it. I feel like Donkey from Shrek when he's like,
yeah! Also, when I'm home alone, I do this noise really loud all the time.
Oh my god. I just scream.
I do that too when I'm home alone. The other day I was home alone, and I didn't know, I was just bored, so I just started yelling at nothing, and I was just like, okay.
See, I have a dog, so I'll play with her, and she makes weird noises, and she'll be like, so then all of a sudden I'm like, and I do it back.
I have cats, so I just like chase them around the house
Meow.
and yell meow at them. And then my one cat, his name is Chester, and I shit you not, his meow for when he's crawling from the basement is hello, hello, and we're both like, what the fuck?
Fucking cats make the weirdest noises.
And yours just snuggled into my purse.
He's been snuggled there for a bit.
He likes to snuggle my purse.
Yeah, probably because it smells like Chester.
And Maynard.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know if I've ever
Lily's
told
so
our
cute.
listeners my
so
cat's
thick.
names.
Lily's such thick boy.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
All right, so part 2 of the Bridgewater Triangle. Boom. All right. So, like I've mentioned in many cases before that I've covered, and last week, Lauren Coleman is the person who drew up the map and named the area the Bridgewater Triangle. The name didn't really surface much until his book, Mysterious America, in 1983.
Okay.
Many investigators, researchers, and just anyone who's curious has all traveled to the triangle to witness the weird and strange things that go inside of it.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can avoid being, like, murdered or part of a cult.
Fair enough.
A lot of people believe the Freetown State Forest is believed to hold a large amount of dark power and energy that you can feel when you're in there.
So, question.
Yes.
It might ruin some things because I have not read ahead. Is there also a lot of cryptids in this area?
We'll find out.
Okay.
I thought you were going to ask if it was a similar energy to, like, Aokigahara Forest, and I was going to say yes.
Oh, no.
Just think of, like, a dark energy like that. Like a dark energy.
Omany.
Yeah, ominous.
That's the word, not omany.
You fucking weirdo.
It's my first day with words, okay? I'm learning to speak much gooder.
Some people believe the ground is tainted from all the death that happened during King Philip's War, which would kind of go back to what I just said about the dark energy feeling similar to Aokigahara Forest, because that land also has a lot of death in it.
That more so reminds me not of Aokigahara, but of Gettysburg.
Yeah, which I cannot wait to cover Gettysburg. There is so much for Gettysburg. Speaking of ghosts, yes. Some people believe it to be Native American curses that, that's why the land is tainted, because of the war that they had with King Philip. Some tales state that it goes back to the Wampanoag people. I am so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Wampanoag?
Wampanoag.
People cursed the swamp and the area after the settlers arrived, King Philip's War. There have been ghost canoes seen in the water with Native American warriors inside of them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of creepy.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a bit.
There are full-body Native American apparitions that have been seen wandering around the area. Civil War soldiers have also been seen around the area, along with...
that makes me think Gettysburg.
Soldiers from King Philip's War. Bright lights or fireballs or orbs have been seen near Easton and West Bridgewater as well. Just like you see like an apparition and then all of a sudden you see like a bright light or like a fireball wandering around the forest.
Okay.
Right, just hovering. Along Route 44 in Rehoboth, a full bearded, red-headed apparition is seen trying to hitch a ride.
Ooh.
A ghostly figure is seen along Route 138. That road goes along Hokomoke Swamp. He will get into the back seat before he disappears, and he does like a creepy evil laugh. I wasn't even a good evil laugh. Hold on. No, that still wasn't that good.
There you go.
Nick hates when I do an evil laugh. Oh, fuck.
I hate your cackle afterwards. You would make an excellent witch. Because you cackle a little. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
I try to...
I snort.
I embrace it. I snort, too.
So, it's okay. I sound like I've been told also that when I'm really laughing hard that I sound like a dying seagull. So...
Oh, no.
Yes, because I do the...
Mine. Kendra's dying. She's about to have an asthma attack.
Yeah.
You need my puffer?
You're not supposed to use other people's medicine, Olivia.
A ghostly truck driver is seen hanging out on Coppacut Road in Freetown.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
I like ghostly truck driver.
Yeah.
I feel like I want a case on that.
Okay.
That's spooky and I like it. Like ghost cars.
Okay.
I want ghost cars.
Ghost cars.
Ghost cars.
Okay.
Is that a thing?
Yes, it is.
Yes! It's a real thing. It's not just a supernatural movie thing.
A lot of locals experience random ghost encounters, even inside of their own home. Like, a lot of people will just wake up one day and there's going to be, like, a Civil War soldier or Native American apparition in their home.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Dad.
The Assonet Ledge in Freetown State Forest has a spooky apparition that jumps off the ledge and disappears before it hits the water.
Huh.
It also has, I read that it tries to lure people to jump off the ledge as well.
I want a case on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Creepy, eh?
Yeah, smoky. I like it.
So, another really cool, creepy thing inside of the Bridgewater Triangle is the Lizzie Borden houses in Fall River.
Oh. That's a case I need to do.
We both need to cover that.
It's mine!
Because not only was there, like, a double murder that happened in this house, there's ghostly figures, touching, voices, objects moved. A lot of stuff has been experienced inside of this house, which we'll get into more detail when we decide to cover that case.
Yeah, we could do another double like we did with Amityville.
That's what I was thinking.
Excellent. I like it.
So now I'm going to get into some cryptids.
Haha! I guessed it right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not looking. I'm going to make 2 guesses.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know how many are there. I'm going to guess, because I'm thinking foresty. It's in sort of towards like the left of America, right?
East Coast.
So east, not west.
It's not the Pacific Northwest.
Okay, so then I only have one guess. Because I was thinking Bigfoot, because he's more on the west, right? But the look on your face is telling me I'm wrong. But I am going to guess the Wendigos or Wendigos or whatever they're called.
Wendigos?
Wendigos. I'm going to guess those.
No.
Are they on the west coast and Bigfoot's on the east? Am I wrong?
Wendigos are more northern, like Canada. They are known to be in the States as well because it's part of the Native American culture, but...
Well, I thought they were like kind of in the Rockies, so...
Nope, they're just Native American.
Or, I mean, Bigfoot. He's like in the Rockies, isn't he? A lot?
Bigfoot's all over.
But, like, it's big in the Rockies, right?
Pacific Northwest, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Then
Which is basically like Northern California to like BC, basically.
that's what I thought is where Bigfoot lived. Okay. Anyways, so I was wrong. Continue. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Well,
but it was fun to guess.
Bigfoot sightings have
God
been...
damn it.
have been most seen around Hokomoke Swamp.
Well, I should have just stuck with my first gut instinct of Bigfoot, okay? Fuck my life. But it made for good, funny things.
In 1978, Joseph de Andrade heard a voice calling his name, or a voice in his head calling out to him. While he was walking through the woods with his friend, the voice had told him to turn around, and when he did, to his surprise, a Bigfoot was standing there.
Ooga booga.
Well, I don't know if Bigfoot say ooga booga. Probably more like... I don't know.
I think they're more ooga boogas.
I think they're more like whoop, whoop. 'Cause that's how they do it on fucking Finding Bigfoot.
Oh. I think that they're just pretending to be...
Do you want to hear my Bigfoot call?
Illiterate, and that they really
wanna
just
hear
come
my
up and they're
Bigfoot
like,
call?
I'm speaking. I feel like they're more just like, we don't actually talk. Or, I don't talk, I'm big stupid Bigfoot. But they're actually very intelligent, and so they secretly are just like, they'll come up and be like,
All they do is
"Ooga
speak
booga."
like verbs and adjectives and shit.
No, they'll just come up and be like, ooga booga, as like a joke, like, I'm not, and then they'll be like, hey, my name's Jim.
Do you want to hear my Bigfoot call?
Okay.
Whoop, whoop. I do that when I'm out on trail walks. I'm hiking. And then I grab a stick and I start wailing trees.
You are something very unique, my friend.
When he looked at the Bigfoot, it had turned and walked away and was gone before he could even get close enough to it.
Oh, yeah, I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
My earth.
But
Go
he's the
away.
one that called out to him.
Hi! I exist. Bye.
Yeah, basically. Hi, I'm here. Goodbye.
I'm a cat. I want attention. No. I changed
Never
my
mind. Never mind. Go fuck yourself.
Bye.
In 1971, local police sergeant Thomas Downey was driving home from work one summer evening. As he was driving past a place called Bird Hill at the edge of Hokomoke Swamp, he saw a giant bird or pterodactyl-like creature with a wingspan of 8 to 12 feet and a height of over 6 feet.
Didn't you already mention pterodactyls last week, too?
I said we would be talking about a giant bird.
Yes. Okay.
It had flown off straight into the air when it had seen him. A lot of people think it's something similar to the Mothman
I was just going to say Mothman.
in West Virginia, but in local Native Americans, they have a legend similar called the Thunderbird.
So that's what they think is this.
A lot of people think it's a Thunderbird.
Okay. And he's a lot like Mothman?
I think it's like a Birdman creature. There have also been giant snakes
Nope.
seen inside of the swamp.
Nope.
Giant dogs with red eyes have been plunging their fangs into the necks of victims,
No.
aka ponies.
No. 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 No, dogs.
I actually, other than that, I could not find anything on people's accounts of giant snakes or these giant dogs.
Oh.
That was the most I could find.
Isn't there like a dog man too?
There is a dog man.
Maybe this is where Dog Man lives.
Maybe. Bill Russo, a local Bridgewater Triangle man, had a strange experience about 30 or so years ago. He was walking his Rottweiler down the street and the dog started shaking due to getting extremely scared.
Animals are very perceptive.
After a moment of trying to figure out what was wrong with her, he heard a strange noise. He states in the Herald News article that the noise he had heard sounded something like, quote, "Kier, kier, e, one, two," end quote.
Kier, kier, imonchu.
Yeah, kier, kier, e, one, two.
That could be a bird.
Could be.
Bird.
He turned around and saw a creature step into the streetlight. Russo said it was about 3 to 4 feet tall, looked like a weird-looking teddy bear, roughly 100 pounds with a little pot belly, big eyes that reminded him of a cat. It started waving him over like, "Hey man, got some drugs?" I mean, he walked out into the streetlight and he's like, yo, I got some drugs, come over. You want some? Opens his trench coat. At first, he thought it was just a kid in a costume trying to punk him.
Like in an Ewok costume.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing, is a little Ewok.
He tried to communicate with the creature, but it just kept repeating the same words. He was like, "Hey, bud, everything all good?" And it was like, "Kikir, Iwancho."
It's an Ewok.
Literally, it's fucking Star Wars.
Or it's a baby Bigfoot.
It could be a baby Bigfoot.
Because I'm sure they have to have babies.
They do.
I want a baby Bigfoot.
I want a big Bigfoot.
Of course you do.
He ended up giving up because his dog was just freaking out. So he turned around and headed home. After Russo told his story, investigators believed he encountered what they thought was a pukwudgie.
Oh, that sounds so cute!
And a pukwudgie, they are part of the Wampanoag lore. So they are also a Native American lore.
They're Ewoks. They're so cute. Pukwudgie.
We're gonna post a picture of what
A pukwudgie
people
is?
think a pukwudgie looks like.
Oh my god. That sounds so cute. I want a pukwudgie. They're now my new favorite cryptid, and I don't even know anything about them, and I love it.
So now we're gonna get more into some of the UFO stuff that kind of happens in here.
Oh, by the way, this is my birthday on the 4th.
Yeah, happy birthday,
Yeah,
homie.
yeah.
I called her an old fart on her birthday because she's 30 now.
Yeah. You
Gross.
just wait. By the end of this year, you'll be 32, you old fuck.
No, I'll be 30, not 32. She's gonna fucking hit me.
Ron pulls that same goddamn shit, okay?
Because I'm
30
secretly,
also.
I'm secretly a dad and I have dad jokes. And I know how much you love my puns and my funny jokes.
I don't love your tongues. I don't like tongue in my dad jokes, okay?
I said puns, not tongues.
Don't talk about my buns.
So,
Fucking pervert.
animal mutilations, cows and calves, have been found completely, like,
Eviscerated.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the forest and fields around the area. Some people believe it to be part of cults. Some people think Bigfoot are hungry, and other people think it's aliens and UFOs.
Okay, what's with aliens and cows? Like, it's a thing, isn't it?
Maybe.
It's like a thing.
Maybe they're taking the stuff inside of them so they can do, like, science-y shit up in space.
Maybe. But it's just like, it's always been like a thing where it's
Or maybe they also like beef.
Maybe.
And they want some of that
They want a Big
delicious
Mac.
burg.
I want a Big Mac. Get
They
me a
want
cow.
that fucking prime AAA cut steak. You know what I'm saying?
Aliens might like steak. I don't know.
If any aliens listen to us on Blood, Guts, and Booze, email us at bloodgutsandbooze@gmail.com and let us know how much you love steak.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your deal with cows?
UFOs have been seen hovering above tree lines all around the forest. Black helicopters, which are related to UFO sightings, have also been seen after a UFO sighting.
Oh? Why? Like the government hiding it kind of thing? Or?
Area 51's all like, homies.
Okay.
Nobody saw nothing.
It was just us.
There's nothing going on.
We was just flying around. It wasn't a UFO, it was me. Haven't they admitted, the government now, though, that it exists or something?
I don't fucking know what's going on anymore. So I had read 2 different dates, so I'm unsure of the actual correct date.
Well, what the fuck?
Because I found 1639, but I also found multiple sources with 1760, which is like a huge gap difference. But there have been documents since those years of UFO sightings in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Zits.
Sit. Like sit on a chair. Sits.
Massachusetts. Oh my god.
Massachusetts.
Y'all fucking know what I mean. I just can't fucking say it ever.
I practiced for about 2 hours when I did my Massachusetts case.
Not me. In 1908, local papers printed another UFO sighting.
Oh no!
In 1968, multiple eyewitness accounts came out of floating orbs above the tree lines in Rehoboth.
Okay.
Throughout the 70s, or 1970s, the local papers printed multiple articles with UFO sightings.
Well, dang.
Right?
This is a hell of a UFO place. You want to go camping in this forest, don't you?
Heck yeah, I do.
Nice.
We'll experience cults, UFOs, Bigfoot, Pukwudgies, Thunderbirds, ghosts.
I hope you understand I'll take a Pukwudgie home.
I will too.
Okay. We can't separate them. They have to both live in one house.
Well, no. I want one too.
I'm saying that you would have to take both. I would just visit my Pukwudgie.
Okay. Dear Nick, we now own 2 Pukwudgies. They're our children now.
Yeah, there was
I would treat them like babies. I would snuggle them. Yeah. They'd be so loved.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll teach you how to swaddle.
I already know how to swaddle.
Can I come over and swaddle?
Yes.
And snuggle?
In 1976, there was an article posted about 2 eyewitnesses on Route 44 in Taunton that had seen the same UFO. I also had mentioned there was ghostly figures that were seen on Route 44. It's a very active road.
I feel like I've heard that road mentioned before in, like, paranormal things. Route 44.
It's busy for paranormal. Mm-hmm. In 1979, at the intersection of Route 24 and Route 106, 2 WHDH reporters witnessed a line of bright lights in the sky. They had also seen a home plate-shaped flying object flying around low in the sky.
Like home plate, like baseball?
Baseball home plate,
Just making sure I understand the visual.
I was going to say that.
Thank you.
They said it was low enough that they could actually throw a rock and it would probably hit the UFO.
Weird.
Yeah, so it had to have been sitting like right at tree line, basically.
Uh-huh.
In 1994, a UFO was seen by one of the Rainham's own police officers.
Well, damn.
There is a man in Acushnet. Okay. There is a man in Acushnet near Freetown who says he was abducted, tattooed, and returned by alien life forms.
I need his tattoo. I need to see it.
Do you think it looks like the alien ones that Grime has on her back?
I don't know who that is.
She was Elon Musk's recent baby mama.
Oh, right.
She's Canadian.
Ew.
She's interested.
You can keep her. Her and Bieber, y'all can keep, okay?
Profile Rock has also been an extremely big hotspot for any UFO activity. Like, it is the prime place to go. Next to Route 44.
That makes me think of a TikTok I have to show you after.
Okay.
If I haven't already sent it to you.
Now, I'm just going to wrap things up with a few fun facts.
Kate?
Tim Weisberg from the podcast Spooky South Coast does a live episode every year investigating the Bridgewater Triangle.
Shout out to Spooky South Coast!
Shout out to Spooky South Coast.
Ow, ow.
Chris Balzano had written multiple books on the Bridgewater Triangle. He also lived in Charlesgate Hotel, which is known to be haunted inside of the triangle.
Nice.
Maureen Boyle is the author of Shadow Graves, The Hunt for the New Bedford Highway Serial Killer.
Ooh.
Which I had mentioned last week.
Yes.
Adam Cadeau is the co-director for the series The Highway Murders. Jeff Belanger has a documentary for the Bridgewater Triangle. And quick little tidbit, he is also the researcher and writer for the Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures.
Oh.
Yes. It's like a 2-hour-long documentary, his Bridgewater Triangle, on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who is interested, you can find it there. Lots of Hokomoke Swamp is untouched by humans and could be home to many creatures, which could be why so many people have seen a Pukwudgie, Bigfoot, aliens, giant snakes, thunderbirds.
It's where they can actually
giant dogs. It's kind of like when I covered the Honey Island swamp monster, how that whole area is severely untouched by people, right? Like, nobody wants to go into a swamp.
We need more of those places in our world.
We do.
Where it's just,
untouched from
people.
Just
leave Earth alone. That's why one thing
even
that I
though
really
they're untouched, I want to be in those and become a cryptid.
One thing I just actually really like about the States is that they have so much national forest that's just you can't build it. It's just don't touch it. This is it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do too. We have a lot, actually.
We do, but like in North America, essentially, there's just so much like national forest that you just can't touch, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can't be near it right now, but I love it.
Some parts of the Taunton State Hospital were locations of satanic cults. Happened in the 60s and 70s. So some people went in there and just like did fucking rituals.
During Satanic Panic?
Yep.
Wasn't that in the 60s and 70s?
60s and 70s. Profile Rock has also been said to be the location for satanic cult activity, which is where a lot of UFO activity has also happened.
Okay.
A lot of the mutilations and stuff are found there as well.
Mm-hmm. Satanic Panic.
Some rocks in the area have been found with scribes and drawings on them.
Cool.
And for 300 years, it's been debated on the origin of those markings.
Okay, so they're not just like, hey, it showed up yesterday. They're like old.
They're old.
Nice.
They're probably Native American scribes, I would assume.
That's when, like, 300 years ago, just some asshole teenager put them there, and they're like, this is going to be so funny in the future when it fucks with people.
They're going to think they're these creatures from space.
Yeah. From them star things up there.
From the star beings. Noah Hawley made a movie in 2019 about the Bridgewater Triangle.
Nice. Did you watch it?
I did not. But it basically seems that no matter where you are inside of this area, you are bound to either experience something spooky or scary. Like, you're bound to run into something paranormal or you're something crimey of sorts. Because as we discussed last week, the area is very popular for a lot of crime.
Murder.
Yeah. A lot of murder and just like crime activity in general is very high in the area. Mm-hmm. But that's my case.
I enjoyed learning all about this weird, phenomenal place.
Yeah,
phenomenon.
It's definitely a weird area that I would like to check out.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that there's a vortex there, which is similar to, like, there's vortexes all over the world. They're basically just lines of energy that crisscross all over the earth.
Yeah.
And I definitely think there's a big crisscross there.
No, that makes sense.
And that's why a lot of stuff happens. And with the land being so tainted from death from war and probably famine and stuff like that over the last hundreds and hundreds of years, I can imagine that's why it's a popular spot.
It makes sense.
And I'm sure because there's so much death, that's probably why a lot of people migrate there for satanic rituals. Mm-hmm. And who knows, maybe the aliens and cryptids there are just trying to keep an eye on what's going on, or I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it was very interesting to learn everything about Bridgewater. It's definitely somewhere where I kind of wish that I want to visit a little bit.
Oh,
there's
especially
so much...
now that we know the Lizzie Borden house is in that triangle too.
Yeah.
Because that could also explain why stuff happened there as well, because there's so much energy in this state in general.
Yeah, why it was more so where it was like, I didn't do it, and I don't remember doing it. I don't know what the fuck happened. It was aliens and ghosts and shit. Mm-hmm. You know.
It was the puckwudgies.
It was the puckwudgies. Fucking puckwudgies. You can't bring one home now if it's going to be murdering people. I told Nick last week that I can't do this by myself, okay? That I would have to come here and record, and he would have to let me in every week. And he was like, no.
He literally just was like, no. Real quick, before we wrap things up for this week, anybody who is interested, we have a limited supply of coasters available right now.
Yes.
If you are interested, message or DM us on our social media, and we will get back to you, and we can mail them out.
Yeah, coasters and posters.
Coasters and posters.
And we still also have a couple stickers.
Yes, we do. So
I can see them.
we're hoping to get our store up and running some point this year.
Within the next 6 months to 6 years.
Yeah, so do you have anything else you need to add for this week?
No. Just that next week we have something very special for the holiday.
Oh, yes, I forgot it's Valentine's Day next week.
Yes, so we do have a special treat for that week, which I'm excited about. And then the week after that, we have another very special surprise.
Yes, our first guest of the year.
Yes.
So get excited for that, because it's a pretty entertaining episode. So
I still am having some aftershock moments.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, guys, that's everything for this week. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Yes.
Bye. Special thanks to Dylan Sears for the theme song and Sally Gunter for the cover art. Support us on Patreon and like, share, rate, and subscribe to us on all of our social media pages and your podcast streaming service. Do you have any personal stories or suggestions for the show? Email us at bloodgutsandbooze@gmail.com.